Alright then. Everything should be working, I just need to alter one thing. What was it on? There. Oh. Right, don't know if anybody's actually watching yet, but I am trying to sort stuff out. Is anybody on here yet? Oh, bloody hell. So stressful. Such a stressful bloody day today. But such a stressful bloody day today. Hey, is anybody here? Because everything's not working. It's not bloody working properly. So yes, this is going to be looking at part 2 of Pocus is illegal arrests. I've already done a live stream for part 1, so you can go over to part 1 and watch that if you haven't already seen it. But this will be a live reaction for me. I got back today. Oh, it's been a stressful bloody day today. So I got back today, and obviously I've had some emergency happen where I had to take my wife to bloody hospital. So she's in hospital at the moment, and there's not much I can do, so I decided to come here and do a live stream while I am waiting and catch up on some videos I have not watched yet. So here we are. I'm assuming there's a few people on now, so let's just get into this video then. So let's close that and open that. And there we go, let's just get into it. Oh, I need to unmute this. I don't know if this has got sound or whatnot. So this is just a recap of what we've seen in part 1.
Hello, sir.
Hello there.
Are you right to put that remote thing down on the floor? Where it will be secure. Okay, fair enough.
No, it will do. Well,
Parts 4 and 5 of the National Security Act 2023. We believe you're currently breaching, okay, and for that you're going to be arrested, okay? So you do not have to say anything but a mail in defence if you do not mention one question.
I'm going to take that from you. Thank you.
Do say, maybe give it a
That was our drone team. I think they were quite interested in this setup as well. So it's like loads of pictures in situ. I'm pretty certain that's not recording.
No, I don't think it is. That's a screen.
Yeah,
there.
and it should have either a light on. There's a switch on the side there. And there is like another camera this side as well, so it goes front and back.
Yeah, I think this would be the back that you would.
I was now arrested and sat in the car in handcuffs. This Faye carried on wrapping up and packed my tripod away and da-da-da. We then had to go to custody. I assumed that custody would be quite quiet on a Friday morning at 10 o'clock, but it wasn't. They couldn't fit me in. So they ended up taking me to this Keynsham, which is, I don't know, 9-10 miles away, something like that. So we rocked up there. Prior to that, she then checked my sunglasses again. I think that the security guard had put a bee in a bonnet, so she checked my sunglasses again to make sure that they weren't recording. I'm not going to say that, you know, they were nasty or they treated me badly. You know, in fact, it was what shocked me in a way was just the casual or the perfunctory way that they just dealt with putting somebody. It was, you know, these people swear an oath to protect my rights. It didn't seem to bother them that they could possibly trample in my rights. We went through to Keynsham, and I thought to myself, well, I'm aware that the custody sergeant has to do, some checks. That he has to be sort of diligent in him submitting somebody to a cell. In fact, one of my favourite videos is I Spy Audit, and he had he went to pay for his petrol with, I think, a £20 coin, which they wouldn't accept, so they phoned the police. And then this couple of painted strumpets turned up and gave him a bit of shit and took him into custody. And then when he got to custody, the sergeant just wouldn't admit him to the cells. He just said, you know, this guy is not, in his opinion, is not committed an offence. And he had to let him go, which was a little bit embarrassing. I explained about the document, about that was relevant to journalistic freedoms and the way that it had been released, on the date that it was released and why it was released and so on. And it just didn't faze him. He just said, yeah, I'll put a note of it on here. And he did. So I went off to my cell. That was probably around about 11 a.m.
So what is just said is the custody sergeant has put a note of the law which allowed him to do what he was doing, but yet still proceeded to lock him up. That is absolutely ridiculous. Maybe he should have just checked it up, double checked to make sure what he was doing was the right thing. It's absolutely stupid. He's going to get a fat payout for unlawful arrest, unlawful detainment, being locked up, wasting his time. Obviously, he'll have to go through all of this. Well, if he is getting prosecuted for this, he'll have to jump through all them loopholes and then go for compensation after the lose. It's absolutely ridiculous. But we always get told ignorance of the law is no excuse for breaking the law. So why is it okay for them to deprive us of our privileges, but yet it's their ignorance of the law doesn't matter? It's absolutely ridiculous.
I had some water, but I didn't have anything to eat. And they checked up on me every half hour, offered me food and drinks and so on, but I declined. Around about 7:30, when he did the usual round and opened up the cell and said, are you okay? And that makes sure I'd not hung myself. I just said to him, listen, what is happening? You know, I was just curious, as in I'm spending the night in the cells and, you know, what's happening? And he said to me, well, they're just looking for your car now. And I sort of said, oh, for God's sake, how ridiculous, you know, you're searching for somebody's car because he was photographing. This is just crazy. So he said to me, well, why don't you just tell me where it is and we'll have a look at it and, you know, it will speed things up. So I just said, no, sod it. You earn your money, you find it. Anyway, they never found it. So around about 8:30, I was interviewed by two women from CID. And you know what? They were great with me. I didn't do a no comment. I didn't want a solicitor. And one of the first questions they asked was about the document that I quoted when I went to the custody sergeant. I said, I don't like the way that that the police behave. I don't like the way that you handle Section 44 and abused it. I don't like the way that you handle Section 43 and you abuse that and you pay out money. And I said, and now you've got this new bit of legislation which you are going to abuse again. I said, and the fact that they have given you a blueprint of how to behave and not get arrested outside of a prohibited site, and that's been completely ignored. And what I did was I actually quoted it to her and said, look, as long as I'm there and there are no photography signs and I'm doing it for journalistic reasons, I said, what's the problem? Well, she said, well, one of the police officers have informed us that there are no photography signs outside. And and that stunned me a little bit, because I'd looked, I couldn't see any. I'd checked out. The reason I went up to the prohibited site sign, was so I could purposely
So there you go. You can see it doesn't say no photography at all.
look for no photography signs. I never saw one. Which officer do you think that was that told the CID that there were no photography signs
Well, I can guarantee it wasn't the officer, it was a security guard.
there? She then went through do I belong to any organisations? Obviously she means sort of the pro-Palestine lot. And I said, no, I'm not in any political group. I do believe that we should be fighting for our rights for pinac, which is photography is not a crime. And she seemed okay with that.
I had a crazy idea.
Of course, she seemed alright with that. She's an absolute buffoon. As if they still locked you up.
I get the feeling that after about the first 5 minutes, the pair of women that were interviewing me, I just got the feeling that they thought, what are we doing here? This is crazy. And I can't speak for them, but the way that they acted towards me and the way that they then managed to get my phone back, which if I'd have been a Russian spy or any foreign actor, why would they give me my phone back? The rest of the stuff, I don't think they could release as easy. They did have to, they had to go through a process. But my phone, they give back to me. And then they also gave me a lift. I asked them to take me to Lidl because I was hungry, and they did. I left something in the car, and she came back to Lidl to make sure, I had it. And then she left me. And that was it. So I had bail conditions, which said that I couldn't go near Elbit systems. So I couldn't even go and check out if there were no photography signs. I wasn't allowed to go within 500 meters of it. I wasn't allowed to contact anybody from Elbit systems, etc., etc. And that was bail till, I think, February, second week of February, I think it was. So on the 22nd of December, I received a letter saying that there would be no further action, and they.
So he got NFA'd after all that. He got NFA'd, which means now we can start the legal process of suing him. Yeah, Section 33 probably will get taken away next, abolished, as it does get abused all of the time.
You have two options there. I think one is that they feel they do have a case but have not pursued it because it's not in the public interest, or they say that they do not have enough evidence to charge. That was going to be the end of the shit show for the time being, and I know that I could get on with the civil claim. So as soon as I got the no further action email, I then put a request in for the footage and any transcripts and so on and so forth. And that would be interesting to see what part the security guy and the security line manager played on the advice to them to arrest. That will be, I'm quite curious about all that. So the next thing was for me to go and pick up my equipment. I went down to pick it up and I met another young lady there from CID. The pair of us were quite bemused by the fact that when the evidence bags were put on the table, we noticed that there's two different names on them. One of them was mine and one of them wasn't mine. Yeah, it was my gear in the bags. And then when we opened the bag, the contents of the bag were not as described on the bag. So, you know, the amount and what was in there was completely different. So it was just, what on earth?
It's an absolute shod job. That's exactly what it is. They can't even do the basic things of writing down what they have seized and put in a bloody bag. They messed that up.
Just to let you know where it parks my vehicle, the vehicle that the police couldn't find. It's here in this car park, and here is the police station.
He literally parked next to the police station. He knew he was getting arrested. He literally parked there so he didn't have to pay for a taxi to get back to his vehicle. He can just walk out the police station straight into his car. Funny or what? But he did end up having to get a taxi back, didn't he? Because what did he do? He asked him to take him to Lidl to get something to eat, and then he had to come back to pick up his gear. Madness.
Quite disturbingly, I was contacted by a photographer who suffered the same fate as myself. But instead of them just locking him up for a period of time, which I think was 16 hours, they then went to his house and they ransacked his house. In a similarity was that he also had some type of recording device that was going, and they weren't aware of it. But he's considering his options now. So that was pretty frightening for him, I imagine. I know there's a lot of whinges out there about the sound on my gear. And I know it's my fault, and I've done nothing about it, but I've had a guy that's advised me what mics to get, which he'll do. Now, the reason the sound is really bad on this next clip is because I didn't really intend to have this encounter. The idea was to put a bit of pad into this particular second part. I just wanted some video of Patchway Station. So the idea was to come here, get a few people coming out, maybe get a shot of what I thought was the control room, and maybe see some of the desks and the monitors and people knocking around and so on. But as I rocked up and started filming, two guys appeared, who lovely guys. Hopefully they're now subscribers. I've muted what they had to say for me because they said some things that I don't know whether they were okay with being broadcasted. So I've just muted what they've said, but nice to meet you guys. And then as we're talking, Copper turns up in his car. So what I've done is I've included this now, but don't whinge at me for including it because the sound is awful. If you're going to whinge, just scroll on. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye now.
No, don't scroll on. Let's try and make out what was said.
What if?
So if there's any lip readers in the comments, let's
you could get your money
try and
moved
figure
with
out what they're
access to
saying.
See you, mate. Do you have time?
Okay, good. Filming?
I don't want to install an ad blocker. I could pay for premium. I don't want to do that. I don't mind watching the ads if they're short ones. It does help all the creators out.
I'll be completely straight up with you. We get a call in, say someone's got a drone outside the station, come and chat to you. Obviously you're in a public area. Are you taking flight or leaving it on the tripod?
No, leaving it.
Is it? Fair enough. What's can I ask the purpose of why you recorded?
Do you know the details?
Yeah, 3713. Obviously got my body camera on.
Good man. Bloody hell.
I've seen all the videos. There's my warrant card. From this station just there.
Yeah.
Good day?
Yeah.
Nice. Filming cars coming in and out, or what's
Yeah.
is it? Fair enough.
Anything you can see.
Yeah. Whether it's lads with you or just a bit interested.
Is this an investigation?
No, well. Purely
It's not an investigation, it's an interrogation.
having conversation. You're well within your rights to be here, aren't you? You know that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, fair enough. I think there's anything more.
I think we're done, aren't we?
Yeah.
Have a good day, me old
And
mate.
you? Will you upload this anywhere? Just out of curiosity? Or?
Yeah.
Is it? Are you YouTube, TikTok?
Just can't help yourself, these guys.
I want to know if I'm going to be on later.
No, it won't be like a couple of weeks. Just have a look for Patchway.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
So what? Where are all the personal cars?
Personal cars. You can obviously see from here, can't you? Obviously, we've got our where our fleet lie.
It's a big station, isn't it?
It
A lot
is, yeah.
going on there.
We've obviously got our three main stations. I don't know if you know Cambridgeshire, Bridley, and then obviously this one.
So what goes on here? Is that your control centre there?
Look, so control centre is in here.
Oh right.
This is where we obviously respond out of.
I thought that was a control room.
No.
Control room of a bigger place, is it? It's a control room of a bigger place.
I've not been there myself personally, but yeah, it's completely separate. This is purely our response office, custody unit, things like that. If you go onto our website, it obviously lists all of the separate different units and stuff, with all their phone numbers to contact them. But
You know what I don't get is this is not Gloucester here, is it?
no.
So
South Gloucester.
So it's the Avon and Somerset.
Yep.
So why is it that have you got CID that come from Gloucester? Are you involved with Gloucestershire?
I'm response, so I don't have much to do with in-force stuff. However, I'd imagine if the investigation department's in Gloucester, have got a job, we can grant them access to the building, things like that. If potentially, say, we've arrested someone on behalf of Gloucester, they might come and do the interview in our custody units.
Okay.
Or transfer them back to their force. Yeah. So
Well, this is South Gloucester.
this
We're
is
in South Gloucester now,
Yeah.
but it's the Avon and Somerset Police.
Yes. So I think we sort of cover up to Charfield.
Okay.
And then my knowledge of those sort of like little village county areas is a bit sparse. But so Thornbury, Charfield, and then just past Croydon, which is something, and then like past Swansbury up. That's where it then becomes Gloucestershire's stuff.
New call then. One of your guys.
I came in on my control room. I'm driving back to the station to write up a report anyway, so I said I'll come and chat.
My community station in our little village is just a stop and shop for the police to stop in, go to the toilet. But he doesn't seem too bad, this guy.
Is that, excuse me, Patchway Police Station?
Yes.
Would you get in there?
Just do something wrong.
Well,
No,
that's not the advice I would give. Yeah, so if you cross over here, you have to cross over and follow the bikes. Yeah, got the front
Right,
office.
thank you.
No worries, have a good day.
Like the drone.
Is it not working? Is that why you got it on the tripod? Or just a good camera?
It's good optics on it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to fly it here because of the implication.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've got a smaller one, but I don't want to go over today. I'll come back and do that.
But I'm off to. No, that was a joke, I didn't. Yeah. No, yeah, fair enough.
Have you had any drone flies here?
No, to be honest, I've never had much to do with drone flies. I know obviously you need your flyer's ID, your operator ID to do with certain different...
To fly?
Yeah.
And you'll need it for that. Sticking it on the drone.
To do with the size, no, obviously this isn't flying.
It's all changed on the 1st of January.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not well read up on that side of stuff, so I don't know that much about it.
Well, at least he's really honest about that.
But obviously we've got our drone operators, haven't we? So
Yeah.
they know.
Do you know what I find though with the drone operators is that, you know, even though they are drone operators, they appear slightly detached from the lower end of the drones. You know, they've got the big matrices and so on. And then when it comes to the small stuff, legislation-wise, you're not too up on it, and I can understand that because they are using the biggies all the time.
Yeah, I think where it comes into using them in terms of business, because we would be using it rather than being personal use for like. So obviously you can fly a small drone, can't you, with just the flyer's ID without any of the operator stuff?
No, you need an operator's ID, but now you also need a flyer ID from the 1st of January.
I'm not going to comment anymore because I don't know enough to get
It's just, it changes so often that it's, you know, it's settling. It's all in flux and it's starting to settle.
They're still quite new though, aren't they?
I had one 2016.
That's relatively new for legislation, isn't it?
Still in bloody school work, then.
I won't answer that. But I mean, in terms of legislation, it's a lot of good stuff to do.
Of course. In fact, I think it's it's a minefield for a lot of the police that come out to drones because they don't know. They talk to somebody on the phone and they're saying, well, what type is it? And what you doing with it? And where are you? And stuff. You know.
And to be honest, on frontline policing, when you're dealing with stuff there, fights, disorders, it's so much to cover.
Yeah.
Drone legislation itself is such a huge
You know what they say, we are all ignorant, just in different subjects.
I'll leave you to it then. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask, but am I able to take your name and details, or can I guess the answer to that question?
Yeah, you can.
Well, I can guess the answer. Or?
Yeah, you can guess the answer.
Nice one, mate.
What would you
Still reached in to get his pad though.
want it for though?
Purely to record when I log, say I've come and spoke to you.
Right.
Run a check, because I'm in company with you.
Yeah, I would have to agree. If they're always going back to the their drone pilots for drone laws, when most of the people they talk to about drones and stop people about these drones are smaller drones, you'd think they would know more about the smaller drones.
Do you not feel bad about that? Do you not feel bad about when you join the force?
Yeah.
You know, imagine your mum and dad were proud of you, and I don't think that you'd go home and go, tell you what I've done today. I've dealt with 10 members of the public, and none of them have committed any offence, but I managed to get their names and their date of birth, and because of that I've got their addresses. I now know what car they drive, and I've put it on something that anybody can look at in the force. I mean, do you not feel? I think I'd feel bad about that.
Well, it's got a good point there as well. Collecting people's information, it gets put on their database, and anybody in the force can look at it. Now, if you look, like I said on a different live stream, if you look at most disciplinary actions in your police, so you can go onto your local police headquarters, do a freedom of information request on all disciplinary action which has been taken in that year. You can go up to 5 years back, and you will see that a lot of them get disciplinary action for misusing the police database for non-policing purpose. That is a big red flag for me. So why would anybody want to put the details into that database when the police abuse it?
Obviously, we would only ever force someone to provide those details in the Kojia case. So if we hadn't have a necessity or suspect them of offence.
Yeah.
Because obviously the alternative to that is we have to arrest them because we can't establish who they are. I don't suspect you of any offences. Hence why I'm not pushing it anymore. I'll ask. Because again, I'll ask anyone I speak to. Anyone I speak to could be wanted on a warrant. And again, you seem like a good guy, but for all I know, you put on a great act and you can be wanted for murder somewhere else. You know, you never know who you're dealing with or who you're talking to.
Well, let me
that's the only
correct
reason I
you on that though.
Go on.
When you said you can only get it through Kojia Post.
Well, there's other legislation as well. Yeah.
Well, you can also get it if you're dealing with a vulnerable person or an elderly person or somebody that doesn't know the law. And then what happens is it tends to be like this weaselly trade-off. A lot of the police have this sort of these lines that they come out with, and it will say something like, "I'm PC Smith. What's your name?" As if that's a fair trade. Just PC Smith can tell you anything, you know. But it's as if it's like a weaselly trade, I find, and I don't like that. Or what they'll do is, if they do a stop and search under section 1 of case.
Yeah, you got that right. David Carrick did put on a good act. They all did, all these bent coppers and these wrong uns, all did.
They will then say to you, "Do you want the search record? Well, I'll need your details."
And that's another thing that we've seen a hell of a lot, where they're saying, well, if you want a copy of the search record, which you're entitled to, we need your name, your address, your phone number, all this stuff, so we can give you a copy. Well, no, we just need the number off the top of the search record. The little unique reference number off the top of it, and then we can get it that way.
Completely wrong.
Yeah, no, so legally, that shouldn't be happening. To get a receipt, essentially the receipts we would give would have a police log number, and then you can go to the front office of the police station and request the details around that. You don't need to provide your name from any stop search unless you're being arrested or suspected of offence. But yeah, obviously you're entitled to your own opinion and stuff like that. Obviously,
but you must agree that happened. So it's not an opinion, that is factual. That actually happened.
I can only comment on what I do as a police officer and what I see my colleagues doing. So.
What he sees his colleagues doing, so he can only comment on what he sees his colleagues doing. What about the thousands and thousands upon thousands of videos on the internet of your colleagues doing exactly what he's just said was happening? Do you not have an opinion on that?
Hopefully you stand up to the bad copies as well, because this is where we end up with Cousins and Carrick and all the baddies.
No, I understand. We all act on the code of ethics, don't we? So if we see anything inappropriate, no, not at all. That's not what I was going to say.
And you've not got a blue line badge on, so nice one. Yeah.
Oh, nice one.
Okay.
Right, I will leave you to it. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll let our control room know, so I can't imagine anyone else will come and stop, but be prepared. Someone else might see you and might not have had the update and come and chat to you. But
can I take your details before you go?
Yeah, it's 3713.
Name, date of birth?
Not that. Have a good day.
So there's a guy in America, right, which he asks, if you want my name, I'll give you it. Trade. First name, your first name. Last name, your last name. Your date of birth, my date of birth. That's the van. I would have sat there on purpose and waited for him to get back in, and then got a closer up picture of him without his bloody face covering. Yep, so there you go. What I want to do is I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I want to pull up another video and just see what is happening on that video, just to try and catch up with a few people. Obviously, I won't be doing any of Audit in Britain stuff. So don't ask me to do any of Audit in Britain stuff, because he just loves copyright striking people. So I will not be doing that, and I'll be staying well away from his stuff. If there's anybody you actually want me to have a quick look at while I'm here, throw it in the comments, and I will. But what time is it? Yeah, I will stay on for another half an hour and then I've got to go. Like I said at the beginning of the video, my wife was taken. Well, I took my wife to doctors and then they referred her to emergency care or whatever it is. Same day emergency care or whatever it is. Something like that, I don't know. But she's been told she's going to be staying in overnight, so I need to run and take her some stuff. What do you suggest I do? Apparently my audio's a bit knacky, so if it is, let us know. Who can we look at? Dr. Cycle Mikey. I do like knockout audits, but I've never spoke to him, so I don't want to just throw his videos up here. Let's have a look. There's one here from DP. I know some of you don't like DP audits, but there's one here from DP from 5 days ago, so let's have a quick skag at this one and see what it's all about and do a live reaction to this. What was that? Change the blue line gang. Oh, what was it? Change the blue line badge to a proper British flag. The outside of the badge being blue. Yeah, I suppose I could do that. If they want to wear the blue line gang badge, just don't do it on the uniform. Wear it on their everyday clothes. So let's have a look at this video by DP. I better unmute it.
No, we're here to. No, bro. Huh? Security. Whoa, whoa. You can't get hands up. Whoa, you can't get hands up. Get up front. You can't get hands up with me. Yes. No, you can't. You can't get hands up.
I don't know why a lot of people think this, right? So obviously, a lot of people go section 30 summit of the Criminal Laws Act, which is a legal definition of a public place, and security can use physical force to remove you from a place which you are trespassing.
Right, another juicy video. Big up your chest.
Yeah, Thin Blue Line not allowed. I like his channel.
Yeah, they're all in there, look. Look at this hotel. Now, there's a few cars here.
Okay then, so I don't think any of them are driving, but the ones that I do have a ick with these foreign drivers what come to the UK with their licenses and then drive on our roads like absolute shit. Now, I did nearly get into a crash earlier on the M62 on the way back to come back home with a group of Asian men in a Hyundai i10, which for some reason just decided to go from lane 1 into lane 2 when I was right next to them and nearly wiped me out. It's a good job lane 3 was completely empty. I might have it on my dash cam, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, I do have an ick with that.
So this is all the takeaways.
We've got an iron board there. Low fat natural yogurt. They love the low fat natural yogurt. They make the mint sauce to go with the curry.
Brakes, yeah, look.
I mean, we haven't confirmed it yet. We have just arrived, but
There's quite a lot of cam cars here, but they can park here, park at the right.
So
Yeah, so they turned around and said she's got some sort of infection. So hopefully they can sort that out and she's back home tomorrow, hopefully. Because if not, this bloody christening we've got on Friday will be cancelled.
So this is all the takeaways.
It's got 9 balls there. Low fat natural yogurt. They love the low fat natural yogurt.
So this
I make the mint sauce to go with the curry.
breaks, yeah, look.
I mean, we haven't confirmed it yet. We have just arrived, but it's looking promising. Looking promising.
There's quite a lot of camera. Yeah, they definitely are.
This seems to be a nice hotel.
Dinner time as well.
Looks big.
You tried to get in?
I like that. I like that. That would look nice in my garden.
Dinner, they're having dinner as well.
It'd have to be the front garden. Obviously, my back garden's all Japanese themed because I love koi fish. I've got a lot of koi.
No, we're here to.
No, bro.
Huh?
Security.
Whoa. You can't get hands up. Whoa. You can't get hands up. Get up front. You can't get hands up with me.
Yes.
No, you can't. You can't get hands up. No. Sir, you can't get hands up with me. Sir, get out. Touch me. Don't get touch me like that. You're not allowed to touch me like that. You're not allowed to touch me like that. Oh, get out. You're not allowed to touch me. We got to record it.
Yeah, well, so unfortunately for him, yes, they can. So if you are a trespasser on somebody's property, that person can use reasonable force to remove you off that property, and the force they use must be reasonable to the circumstances they are in. You are pushing against them; they are just using the force, which to me seems reasonable. They aren't throwing any punches; they are just pushing you out of the door. That seems to be reasonable force to me. I hope. Do you agree with me or not? Let us know in the comments.
Anyway, call the police. Call the police. You're not allowed to touch me like that. Stay. Police, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to touch me. I won't touch you. Just get out. You just push me. Just get out, please. You just push me. Just get out. No. What do you mean? Come here.
Okay, then. So at this point, he could actually be arrested, probably for aggravated trespass. Why? Because he's now disrupting the day-to-day occurrences of this hotel. Not only that, he's just scared some woman which legged it through this door and the other woman legged it this way.
Push it! You just push this! We got it on record! We got it on record! But sir, you're trespassing! No, we're not trespassing! You're trespassing! We're not trespassing! No, don't touch me, right? Get in the taxi! No. Yes, we're not here to cause obstructions! Yeah, but this is your property, sir! We're not here to cause harassment, alarm and distress! Okay, you stand outside, please, sir! I asked you a simple question! Okay, please stand outside! No, now you're being nice because you shouldn't have went hands on! I'm not...
You're completely wrong. It's been nice now because you are not in the threshold of the building, which he did use reasonable force to remove you from the threshold of that building. Now, I'm not with the security guard, as you've seen from a lot of my videos. I do think most of the security are fucking stupid. But I would say this circumstances he has stopped after removing you from the property. So I would say his actions was justified. He removed you from the property using reasonable force, and now he is trying to de-escalate the situation.
Exactly who you are. Who do you? I know exactly who you are. No, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah, you are. I know who you are. Who am I? You're Ryan Ferguson from Liverpool. No, I know exactly who you are, sir. So why did you open the door? Huh? Because I know you wasn't a taxi driver. So why did you open the door? Huh? Why did you open the door? Right, please, yeah. Sorry. Please, come in now. Sorry. Yeah, call the police. Call the police. Yeah, we call the police. You got hands on me, I never assaulted you. Yeah, but no, you're trespassing. No, I went to walk in. I've got the right to move you. Right? With reasonable force, sir. I went to walk.
And he's completely right. He is absolutely right. He does have the right to use reasonable force to remove a trespasser, just like you can on your own property. If you ask them to leave and they refuse to leave, you can use reasonable force to remove them, just like you see when the police do it at police stations. But I don't think they asked him to leave.
You're trespassing.
Right, let's stop shouting, because it doesn't resolve anything.
Okay, you're trespassing, sir.
I went to walk in, yes? You got severely hands-on, right?
No, I'm trying to
Please,
to leave the premises, sir.
Yeah, but all you done is wanted to come in and ask questions.
Yeah, but you can't, sir. You're
Well, why is that?
It's classed as trespassing.
Why is that?
You're not allowed.
But why are we not allowed?
You're not allowed,
You went
sir.
hands-on with me, right?
allowed, sir.
You're not allowed to go hands-on. I didn't go hands-on with you.
Yeah, but you're trying to force yourself inside, sir.
You're only...
No, sir.
And then you're saying you know who I am.
Sir, you're trying to force yourself
Right.
in. So when you're trying to force yourself in...
I didn't force myself, I
yes, you
walked
did,
in,
sir. No,
and then
no,
you barged me,
no.
which made commotion.
You tried to force
We've
it.
got it on camera.
So I can use reasonable force to escort you back outside.
The only
But
time
this
you're allowed
is
to
trespassing,
use...
sir.
The only time you're allowed to
This
use
is
reasonable
trespassing,
force. How come the taxi's here then?
Sir, you're trespassing.
No, you know
that taxi was someone else.
Right.
Right, let's bounce it.
When you said to me I'm a taxi driver, I realised you're not a taxi driver is when you got the address out from Google Maps. Because not one taxi driver takes
So why
the
the
address out from
taxi
Google
drivers
Maps.
here?
That's for someone else.
Taxi drivers don't know where they're going these days. Give over. Right, we're going to leave anyway. We know it's a migrant hotel now. We just come to see it. No one knew about it.
We've already got footage around the back with them all eating.
That's fine, sir.
Well, you didn't have an issue when we went through the back. The back door's open.
No, it's not.
Want to see the footage?
Right. We've got women and children in here.
It's a women and children one, yeah.
Pardon?
No comment.
Yeah, woman. I've seen a pushchair, so it's the women and children.
Yeah, it's a women and children one, I think, yeah.
If you know then, sir.
No, we ain't from around here. We've just.
But do you think that's acceptable?
What?
That they're getting free. You don't get free females, do you?
If you've got an issue, you will need to speak directly to the Home Office, sir.
Listen.
It's got nothing to do with
I know
this.
it's got nothing to do with
Any
it.
white security guards?
You will need to speak to Home Office, sir.
Nah, same, but it have to be the same.
Let the woman come in.
Anyway, but right, let's bounce anyway.
And you're only putting your body cam on now, which is too late. So we've got our body cam on. Imagine he was standing there.
Ryan, let's bounce anyway.
Sorry, madam.
Right, how's it going, lads?
Yeah, it's a women and children one,
Oh,
this
it's
one.
women and children. I just had a little walk around. It's very clean here. I'm surprised. A lot of the
40-inch TV.
It's just said a comment there. It's very clean here. That could be because it might just be full of women and children. So the ones which are full of women and children in it is just majority men. You do tend to notice they are filthy places.
On the wall.
Yeah, a lot of the hotels we go to with the lads, they're dirty, but it's lovely here. We'll leave you to it, lads, yeah? Nobody else round
There's no
the
reason
back,
to
mate,
get
it's
hands
just
on
me.
like that, right? You know yourself. If I got hands on with you, that's when you can get hands on with me.
See you later, pal.
Eh?
See you later, sir.
Bang out of order that.
Have a good day.
Bang out of order.
Have a good day.
Thanks, man. Thank
See
you.
you later, mate.
See you later. Yeah, go on. You're Ryan Ferguson from Liverpool.
Let's bounce now.
Hey, in this part here, boys, they've got...
I know, can you put my phone up for me and get me some footage quickly?
They've got the bain-marie.
Put that up for me with your long hands.
One sec.
You can't get in there. Can you lift your arm up for me, Ryan, and get me some footage? Look, there's a gap up there, look.
Are you live?
No, I just want to get some footage of the fucking them eating.
Oh, yeah. Hello. They're all moving.
And it's all women and children.
They all moving?
Yeah.
Dinner time.
Dinner time. Bernard Matthews, chicken dinner. White woman knocking. Let's get some photos of mine, quick.
So,
No, the one below it just a little bit.
Just knocked it off.
so as you can see, it is all women and children in there.
Yeah, just get like 15 seconds in it. They all moving?
Yeah.
Dinner time.
Dinner time. Bernard Matthews, chicken dinner. White woman knocking. Let's get some photos of mine, quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at blokes, but mainly women. Hey, we've all got Muslim in the car.
Right, to be honest, I don't think there's much more to see here. I'm not really interested in seeing this stuff anymore. I'm fed up of seeing it. It's every single day. It's on my news feed. I hear it every single day on everything. Not because I look for it, because of me doing this, looking for these videos, and it seems like everybody's jumping on the migrant hotel trend because that's what's pulling in views, so everybody's jumping on that. Never really interested me, that sort of stuff. But what we are going to do now is have a look at the police. stop a bunch of drug dealers. Let's actually, because I'm not always against the police, so let's actually look at this video. This is body cam footage of police doing, well, chasing somebody or a group of people, which turn out to be drug dealers, so let's just have a look.
Police! Stay where you are! Stay where you are! Put your hands up! Put your hands up now! Do not move! Keep your hands! If you... Kenzie, hands out your pocket!
And I would totally agree. I do think these hotels should be filled with our homeless veterans. Now, as I've said it in my other live streams, all revenue created by this channel does go to charity, and it's 3 charities. It goes to help the heroes. Everybody knows what Help the Heroes is. It goes to men's mental health awareness, and there's a local charity in my town, in my little, like, just up the road in the village, which is a church, which helps feed the homeless and get the homeless off the streets when it's freezing cold outside. But this here is police stopping 1, 2, 3, 4 dealers on electric bike.
You put your hands in your pocket. I'm going to... Hands out your pockets! This has got 2 shots, that's got 2, there's 4 of you. If you move, you will get tasered, do you understand?
Just stay, we'll just stay like this. They move and then we'll just taser them.
Right.
Stay there.
Just for units awareness, there are bags on top of the roof.
Hands here. Yeah, at the minute, yeah. Guys, at the minute, you're all under arrest on suspicion of being in possession of the intent to supply Class A drugs. The bag that we've seen you throw on the roof, my colleague has said is full of Class A drugs. 4 males under arrest, Peewits Class A. We're going to need a couple of vans, I'm afraid. We've got 4 on bikes, 4 prisoners and quite a lot of drugs here.
I've got to be in for my licence soon. I need to get home.
Yeah.
I'm trying to...
Your licence is going to be revoked here. You're not going home.
Why?
Yeah. Leo.
Mate, if you think sharp...
Unfortunately, mate, you know what's happened. You're not here.
He's got to make a run for it with cuffs on. What a buffoon. Oh my god. He needs to get on for his license. Mate, you've just been caught with a shit ton of drugs, mate. You ain't going home. And then he's also tried to do a runner while cuffed. How stupid do you get? You're basically surrounded. You got nowhere to go.
All right.
Hold on to him.
Oh, damn. I don't think I can show this on YouTube.
Let's see.
I'm probably going to end this stream here. Yeah, I can't show that on YouTube. There's a lot of bloody drugs here. I can't show this, so there you go. This is the kid what tried to do a runner and got nabbed immediately. What happened to the other 2? Nobody knows. Yeah, so I'm probably going to end that here. I've got a few things I have to do, and then I have to run off to the hospital. Nah, do you know what? I know somebody which got away after being pepper sprayed or CS gas or whatever spray you want to call it in the face, and then 2 coppers jumped on him, got an handcuff on, went to handcuff him, and he jumped up and legged it. He knew the area very, very well. So he's legged it out the gate, down the street, jumped 2 fences, to his mum's house, washed the spray out of his face, went back out of literally went back out, and seen 2 coppers one way, like, what was it, a riot van full with shields the other way. Because, well, I'll tell you the beginning why all the coppers stand up with a riot van. 2 coppers stand up to the house, and he grabbed, those metal sweeping brush things, those really flimsy sweeping brushes with a metal handle, and as they went to walk through the gate, he started swinging it at these 2 coppers. Mangled this sweeping brush because they're just friggin' hollow metal shells. on the fence. They come through, sprayed him, but they'd already pushed the panic button. Police had then, obviously the riot van had come, and he got, like I say, pepper sprayed, did one down the street, milk in the eyes, washed it out, come back out, seen the two which originally went to arrest him, and then there was the riot van lot, so he decided he's going to run at the two, which originally tried to arrest him, slipped on the grass, nutted the female in the crotchal area, and then got jumped by every single copper. Now, it was a pretty mad thing. It happened on Greatfield in Hull, so anybody knows Greatfield in Hull, you might know this incident, because it was thingy, it was quite a long time ago now, but yeah. Yeah, you get me. Yeah. Well, there's a streamer which has just been arrested for impersonating a police officer for getting a costume. Getting a police costume and then walking around, I'm pretty sure it was London, dressed as a fake police with a hired police costume. But yeah, so let's watch one more short one. Like I say, I do enjoy seeing the police do a decent job. Obviously, they don't always do a decent job, but they do sure try to. So does this one. Don't know what it is. Let's have a look. Probably another dealer.
189, immediate talk through, please. I have a vehicle failing to stop.
It's crashed.
Vehicle's crashed. Onto West End Road. I'm appropriately trained.
He's going to decamp. He's going to decamp. No.
Charlie Romeo 161.
Medium risk this stage. Stand by. Decamp.
He's on the taser! He's chucked the drugs. Get on the floor. Get on the floor. Give us a hand. Hands, mate. Give us your hands.
Oh, I do find that funny, right? They've just shouted, he's chucked the drugs, and then he stops. Why the hell would you stop? He's a right skinny scrot as well.
Oh, okay. Mal detained. Okay. Right, you're under arrest on suspicion of possession with intent to supply Class A drugs. You do not have to say anything, may harm your defence. You do not mention when...
It's got a nice little Louis V bag though.
Questioned, some position later on in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence.
So we don't know what happened to him. Should we watch one more? Let's have a look at the raid. Let's have a look at a raid. So they've got this thingy here, what'll pop the door off its thingy. They got the red key. I didn't see what they just put down there.
Police officers, open the door, please. Open the door now. Police officers, open the door right now, or it will be forced. It will be forced. Open the door. Stand back from the door. Stand back from the door. Movement. Go.
There you go, look. Oh, so that's what it is. So what it does is to find a pressure point, and it's hydraulic, and it'll just pop it.
Hold on, Spike. Stand back from the door. Stand back from the door, please. Police officers.
Now that is how it's done. How many times have we seen them turn up with a stupid key and spend half an hour trying to bash the bloody door in? That was literally what? Bloody 5 seconds, 10 seconds, if that.
Police! Clear! Go up! You okay? Stand by.
One up here, secure.
One secure upstairs.
Oscar. So 27 hours, all right? And at this moment in time, you're under arrest on suspicion of being concerned in the supply of Class A drugs between the 26th of April this year until present day, okay? So you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention, when questioned, something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. The necessity for your arrest is for a prompt and effective investigation, and we're going to have to interview you, and we're going to have to conduct searches, okay? Okay.
Nice little what?
We're females, we're going to step out of the way. I'm presuming this is your room.
You'll see that.
Because you've been arrested for an offence.
Class A drug supply and no links to address in Swindon. Okay then. Okay then, yeah, get past that. I cannot show that stuff because YouTube does not like it.
You guys should do a thorough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a video on that where I've seen a couple of videos, different ones as well, of women trying to get into do raids and physically cannot. Some of them are struggling with the battering ram. Yeah. Seriously struggle. This might be one here. Look, another PVC door. These things are not designed for PVC doors, really. I think they're obsolete now, unless if there's a wooden door.
Go low. Go low. And again. Keep going.
You see, look, they didn't even get the door off. They actually took it out. No, they won't be able to do that with mine. Mine's a solid metal door, so they'd have to cut it off. And then I've also got like a ram bar here, a ram bar at this side, and a ram bar here, which runs right across the full length of the door. So they won't be able to get in, man. They'd have to go through one of the windows.
Police! Give me your hands, Come here.
Is there anyone else in the address?
In a minute, mate, you're under arrest on suspicion of concern supplied Class A. Put your hand down your back. So you didn't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you don't mention when questioned something you like relying on court, and if you do, so maybe giving evidence, alright? What's your name, buddy?
Chicken.
Hey?
Chicken.
Okay.
What other chicken?
Are you second name?
Babalola.
Alright.
How many people are in it, mate?
So they've all been bloody foreigners as well, which doesn't help. Doesn't help the situation, does it?
Hello. Can I get a name check in this channel? We wake you up. Yeah.
It's not.
Surname Babalola. Bravo Alpha. Lima Oscar. Lima Alpha. First name is Michael. Mike India Charlie Hotel Alpha Echo Lima.
Right, should we get you in the van, mate? Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then, yeah. These, look at how... That's an English accent.
Alright. Do you want a t-shirt to take with you? Sure?
Got a jacket or something to throw on?
Is that banned for now?
Yes, it is, yeah. And is there a t-shirt?
No, it's a ball.
So there you go. Tissue box containing more than 7 grand, blah 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 blah. So there you go. I'm not gonna do any more. That is gonna be the end of this live. I do try and make videos like this, showing our police actually doing some half decent work. But it's quite hard to find. But now, obviously, I'm just going to get bombarded. These are running out there because it was posted by the police themselves, so obviously they're not going to show themselves doing a shit job, are they? I'll tell you what, though, the brothers had some nice taste. They had a GMT. So they had a Rolex GMT Master 2 Batman. They had a Datejust two-tone and a Submariner two-tone. Very nice watches. But yeah, the police are not going to show themselves doing a shit job, are they? So the only place we can actually see the police doing what they normally do on the day-to-day is seeing just people recording their interactions with the police. And I do recommend everybody records the police whenever you see the police. Always film. But all that being said, I am going to end the stream now. Like I said, it's now 10 to 9. Gives me, it'll take me, 10 minutes to get to the hospital. That should be good. But yeah, I am going to end it here. Let us know what you thought of this, just by liking the video if you haven't already liked it. Like it if you're watching it, and like the video. Every like does help, and it will help push this live further and further for people to get. Obviously, the live was about Pocus's interaction, and hopefully he does an update on the civil claim he has ongoing. And then obviously I added a few bit more with DP, and I wanted to show the police doing some good. But yeah, I am going to end the video because I've got to go. Thank you for watching. If you aren't already subscribed, and like the video. Video will be out tomorrow. If I do have time, I will do a live stream tomorrow. But that all depends on what's happening with me wife. So I'll catch you tomorrow.